Hey guys, welcome back to the Mind is the Altar. I have a scary Ouija board experience story that I gotta tell you guys. It's not my personal experience, but it's from one of my subscribers, Josie203. I want to shout out to you, Josie203. I read the experience is very creepy or somewhat scary, but meantime amazing. So I'm gonna have you guys listen to it and see if you can learn or gain anything from it. So thank you for tuning in. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment, share. Ciao. I heard of Ouija board since I was a child, but truth is, I never had an Ouija board or I never played the Ouija board game. But everything changed one evening when my sister and her friend came over to my house to spend the night. My sister, her friend, and we were chilling in my living room. We were just drinking wine and watching the movies. Things got interesting when her friend Zach asked us to play Ouija board. We all agreed to play the Ouija board game, not taking it seriously. We gathered around and placed our hand on the pointer piece on the Ouija board. Oh, did I mention my sister friend Zach? He had this board game in his trunk. It's like he knew we was gonna say yes when he asked, let's play the Ouija board game. So anyways, as we placed our hand on the Ouija board, my sister asked me to ask a question. I said, sure, it's just a game. Now, keep in mind, at this moment, I didn't know nothing about Ouija board. I've heard of it, but I never did my research. So, I went ahead and asked a question while our hands placed on the Ouija board game. Is there spirit in this house? We sat in silence, and all of a sudden, the piece moved to yes. I thought my sister and Zach were playing game with me, and they were messing with me. So I asked them, did you guys move this piece? But they told me no. It moved on its own. See, at this moment, the energy in the room was kind of getting dark. I felt like some evil presence just came through, right? So I went ahead and asked, are you a good or a bad spirit? Nothing happened. So I asked again. This time, before I even finished asking the question, my TV in the room that we was watching, my TV, it turned on and off, and my lights started flickering. We all jumped into fear. My sister and Zach, they started giggling. I don't know if because they were a little bit buzzed, or I don't know if it's because they just think everything is a joke. My sister said, well, that was a coincidence. But I don't believe in coincidence. In my mind, I didn't feel right. Can you please take this board out of my house? I asked Zach. Zach, he took the board back to his car and he apologized. I said, it don't matter, it's just a game, but I just don't feel right. So we continued drinking that night, and I asked my sister if she can stay over with me because I was a little bit scared due to what happened with the Ouija board. So a week passed by. One evening, I was in my living room, sitting on the couch, on my phone. I can swear, on the side of my eye, I seen a shadow. You know how sometimes you see stuff moving on the side of your eye? On the side of my eye, I seen a shadow, walked inside the mirror. Like the shadow came out nowhere, then disappeared in the mirror. The same night before going to bed, as soon as I closed my eyes, I seen a vision. In my head, between my third eye, I'm talking about in my head like my third eye was open. I've seen a vision. But the vision was a clock hanging on the wall. The funny thing is, my vision was focused on the time. The time was 3:15 p.m. I thought that was weird. It was like my third eye opened and now I'm seeing visions. This kept happening for 3 days. Same vision, the clock and the time says 3:15. It never changed. Now, one day, again, I seen this shadow. I saw this shadow again. This time, the shadow, he appeared to be a man. He was standing in my kitchen. I was coming upstairs from my room and he was standing in my kitchen. He wasn't scary. I did not get the vibe of being scared. He looked afraid. He looked afraid. Excuse me. He did look afraid. This one I asked my sister to move in with me for a little bit. After 1 week, I had no vision, no shadow man, until one night. I was laying on my bed. As I was dozing off, I found myself stepping out my body. I was stepping out my body. I couldn't see my sister by the time that I was stepping out my body. But when I fully stepped out my body, now I was standing by the bed. And I just saw myself laying there right next to my sister. I guess you can say I was having astral travel or astral travel experience. But what caught my attention was the noises. There was some noises coming from downstairs. These noises were the noise of children and a man. Also, I could hear a woman crying for help. And this is happening in my house. As I rushed downstairs, so I ran downstairs to see what's going on. And keep in mind, I'm still in my astral body this time. My physical body still laying back in my room. So as soon as I got downstairs, I saw people sitting in my living room. I saw there was a big fire, a flaming fire. I'm talking about the whole living room. It was on fire. And these people, this family, were crying for help. They couldn't see the door and the fire was getting bigger and bigger. So I just froze between the stairs. I was terrified. So I wanted this nightmare to end. But all of a sudden, I couldn't believe what I saw. I saw the shadow man standing in the middle of the fire. He wasn't burning, but he was pointing at the clock on the wall. I looked at the clock, the same clock I have been seeing in my vision, and the same time it said 3:15. I screamed I screamed really, really hard, like I was so scared. Next thing I know, I woke up in my physical body. My sister asking me, what's going on, what's wrong? See, I was so shook. I didn't tell my sister what happened till like hours and hours. I had to take a shower and relax. I told her what happened and what I've seen. So my sister, she had the idea of we go around ask who was the previous family that lived in the house. That day, it turned out that we found out that the family that used to live in the house, they died and they got burned in a fire. The same way I seen and the shadow man, the same way I've seen when I was having my astral travel experience, when I was seeing my vision, what I've seen through my vision, it's the same exactly way. And the shadow man was the father. He was trying to show me how he passed away, how his family suffered in the house. So my sister came out with an idea. I didn't want to live in the house anymore. I wanted to move out. But my sister came out with a good idea. The next time she said, we're going to go play the Ouija board again. But this time, we're going to ask the shadow man to move on. And we're going to tell him, this house is safe now. So we did exactly that. We sat down and this time we put the board in the middle. And then we place all our hands on the board. And then we ask if the spirit is there. Again, I asked this time, is the man that I've been seeing is he around? The spirit, the board, it pointed us to yes. And then we tell the man that it's okay now, he can move on. I said these things. It's okay now. You can move on. The house is safe now. Your family probably waiting for you. And then we close with the Ouija board. Thank you. Since then, I've been living in my house. I haven't experienced no shadow man, no visions. It's been peaceful. I guess my advice is, if you want to play the Ouija board, know exactly what you're looking for and know exactly the rules and know what you're getting to, or don't play it at all. If you're gonna open a portal for spirit to come in, make sure you close it as well when you're done asking all your questions. Because the truth is, you'll never know who's gonna come out or who you're summoning while you're playing the Ouija board. Thank you. I will see you in my next video.